Hi, this is the Knick, and welcome to Johnny's Knickknacks. It's a new series that I want to start. It's not going to be scheduled or anything, but it's where I get to talk about all things related to Johnny's and Associates and the Japanese idols that are in relation to them. I definitely had a different subject to, be my first episode, but this is the one that I feel like I must address, which is, of course, the fact that the group news, it has gone down from a 4-member group to now just a 3-member group, as Tegoshi Yuya, he has left not only the group but also the agency Johnny's and Associates, and from the sounds of it, plans on continuing his career in the Japanese entertainment industry on his own. It was first just assumed that this was all kind of snowballing from Tegoshi going out during the pandemic when Johnny's and Associates, they were trying to promote everyone, being safe, staying at home, had a really big project called the Smile Up Project that is out there promoting that and also helping raise funds to help with all of that. And Tegoshi, he went out. It was reported he first went out to a drinking party, and from that he got taken off the project that they were doing for the pandemic, and then he was caught by the same tabloid going out a second time. I think days after, maybe a week or something after that initial meeting, and going out with friends, if I remember the story right. But either way, after that, basically all his solo activities were kind of taken away from him, or the solo activities he was still able to do. And it looked like things were going to get quiet, and that more or less they were going to let everything blow over. But then the next thing we know, it's being announced that Tegoshi is leaving the group and the agency. A couple days after that announcement, Tegoshi went ahead and did a press event where he kind of explained his side of the story, and basically said that the outings, they weren't like parties, they were actual business meetings, and that he still wants to be a part of news, but he decided to leave because he wanted to promote in ways that the agency didn't want to, like using like social media, and doing or going out to a lot of the festivals and performing there and doing fan meets. And he just didn't want to wait any longer, and that he had actually brought up about leaving the group, but he was going to wait until after their latest tour for their album Story was finished to leave. But when that was cancelled, he decided that, he might as well just go ahead and go solo now instead of waiting, because, the one thing he was waiting to finish wasn't happening anymore. And if I sound a little callous about, the whole thing, it's because I am a big news fan. They are what got me into Johnny's and really into Japanese pop idols in general back in 2007. So I've been following this group for a long time. In fact, I got into them basically as they were returning from a hiatus as a 6-member group. So of course, one of the first things I learned was basically how they kind of started off as a 9-member group initially, and have been basically losing members ever since, until the current status where they are now down to 3. And everything that has happened, it's just, as a fan, I just find it kind of exhausting to go through it all with all the ups and downs. And at the moment, I just don't No. Especially since, I've been kind of through this all when they went from 6 members to 4, but even with that, it kind of felt like we had a little bit, more, I guess, preparation for that happening. As it was pretty obvious at that point that having Ryo in both Kanjani 8 and News just wasn't working anymore. And even though I do admit I definitely had hard feelings about Yana P leaving 2 to go solo, because I really felt like the group was more or less kind of built around him in the first place. But as time has progressed, I really felt like the group as a 4 member unit was fantastic. They just worked so well together. I really thought this was going to be the final lineup for the group. That's, it'll be this 4 until the group finally disbanded. And so it's hit hard, very hard, that, that's not the case. That in the end, it's gonna go down yet another member. That's like 2/3 of the initial 9 member lineup that have left. And it, like I said, it just kind of feels exhausting seeing this all happen. I mean, I love News. That brought me so much joy and happiness that it makes sticking through these kind of, harder times always worth it. And, I guess the ones that are remaining, they are some of my favorite members, so I at least have that silver lining. And it's probably going to take me a while to basically sort out how I feel about Tegoshi and everything. I mean, I'm not going to slam him and think that everything he said in his press conference is a lie. I don't think so. There's definitely probably some dubious choices that he's made, even all things considered. But I'm not going to hate on anyone who wants to continue to support him. But at the same time, I definitely feel for those who are still mad, because I really think he lacks an awareness of how much pain he's caused, not only the fans, but also the other members of the group, because even though he said that, he's brought up his concerns about leaving the group, I don't think he really let a bigger, more involved conversation happen, with the way that, the remaining 3, they all seem to be kind of taken back and in shock and really not expecting this to happen either. And I think it's really telling that even though he says he's left on really good terms, and which is something I'll be willing to believe, seeing, as he mentioned, that he does have approval to sing new songs still, which is a pretty good or pretty large concession from the agency. But the fact that it also didn't come with basically the other members of the group, doing the usual, yeah, we talked, but we weren't able to convince him to stay, which other members who have left Johnny's usually get if they're not leaving in like complete disgrace. That and the fact during the press conference, it really sounded like he alone was the one, going to the agency with all these ideas of what he wants to do with News, with the fan meetings, and having more of a social media presence and everything. So it didn't really seem like the group was in on everything, he was wanting to do. And I don't think, that's a sign of like friction or anything in that. But it does give the sense that Tegoshi was definitely on his own page, with what he wanted to do. And it's kind of understandable then, why he would want to go solo, where he wouldn't be restricted from doing these things. And, I get that. Johnny's is notorious for being very slow, for taking on, anything new. I mean, these past couple of years has been almost kind of shocking with them finally embracing things like YouTube and social media, even though it's been very limited with which groups uh, are getting access to these things for to promote with. Um, so it's like it's understandable. Like I said, though, I think the issues he just seems to lack an awareness of, you know, what he has done, why some people would react negatively to it, and I've always kind of seen him as somebody who is kind of like a people pleaser. It's definitely not a bad thing because, you know, it what makes it really fun to watch him on stage and performing because he is trying to make the entire crowd happy. But on the other hand, it can easily lead to, you know, overstretching yourself and, you know, stepping over boundaries without realizing it. And so I guess if anything, I just hope that he has people with him that'll help him out and really have his best interests in heart as he moves forward with his new solo career. And for member news, they're always going to hold a very special place for me in my heart. I mean, I love them so much. I had so many hopes for them. And while in the end, they're not all going to happen, I am happy that, you know, the group is going to continue on with the remaining 3 members. I mean, at the end, I have been with this group for so long now already. I don't see anything really changing that. So right now I know I just have to be patient, and I'm going to be looking forward to see what the group uh, does next. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up there. There's really a lot more I could say, but at this moment, I just don't feel like saying it. Maybe one day I'll go back. Probably not, but thank you for watching to the end here. I know what I have isn't all too fancy, and there's a lot I need to work on to improve quality. Unfortunately, my computer is a bit of a potato. Well, not a bit of a potato, it is very much a potato. But I still have all the feels that I want to share and at least blast out to the rest of the world, and for anyone who would listen. So again, thank you for listening, and hopefully next time when I come out with this, it's going to be a much happier topic that I'll be more excited to actually talk about other than this, because this is just heartbreak. So until then, bye!